What's up guys, and welcome to today's video at the Warehouse Gym in JBR Dubai, and I'm going to be taking you through some really important tips which I feel as though can take your abdominal training to the next level so that hopefully you will have a well-defined and strong visible six-pack. So we're going to start off with the first exercise. Now this for me is the ultimate boyo for abdominal exercises. If I could only do one exercise for the rest of my life, it would be the hanging leg raise. Now when I do this exercise, the majority of the time I will use ab straps. Pretty cheap, pretty basic. You'll be able to find them on Amazon. I'll put a link to these exact ones in the description. But what this basically allows you to do is to completely take your abdominals to failure. Because let's say, for example, if you're doing it hanging, you know, a lot of people, particularly beginners, they're not going to have the upper body strength to do the movement which is required. Or they might not have the shoulder mobility. It can be quite awkward. So you'll only realistically be able to do 2 or 3 reps before you lose grip, and you haven't really trained your abs as hard as you can do. So we're going to use the ab straps. Now you'll be able to put these up pretty much anywhere in your gym, obviously on a stable surface. You don't want it to slip off and kill yourself. And what is very important is when you get into position, you get that pad right underneath your armpit. I see a lot of people, they kind of just hang from this position. It doesn't work as well. Obviously, if I'm doing this majority of the time, I will be wearing a t-shirt, so I won't be stinking out these pads, but you guys need to see the muscles work. So what you'll do is you put your hands in the top here. If you are a female, you have short arms and you can just hold the strap. But I like to hold the little metal bit. Start yourself off in this position, and then you're gonna exhale, this is very important, and bring your knees all the way up to the top. Breathe in, pause here, and then you'll notice if you are a beginner, there'll probably be quite a bit of swinging backwards and forwards, but as you get stronger, your core is going to be able to maintain that balance. Now, if a lot of you guys try that exercise for the first time, you will without a doubt struggle, particularly if you want to get that full range of motion, which is really required to engage your lower abs. So if that is the case, I would recommend starting or practicing on a bench. So assuming the bench is stable, put the bench on an incline, hold it firmly at the top, and then based on how good you are, if you're a beginner, you want to start off with a very steady, gentle incline, go through those repetitions, and then as you get stronger, you can afford to increase the angle of the incline, and then when you do get strong enough, you've kind of mastered that one, then you can progress to the straps. So if you are the type of person that struggles with these, just focus on getting a very good few solid reps out. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 reps, that's fine. As long as they're good reps, that's good. Just rest after you've done them, rest as long as you need to, until your abs are recovered. I want about like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even more, and then go again, okay? But you'll need to do more sets if you're reducing the rep range, okay? And then, as you get stronger, you can afford to increase the rep ranges, and then you're adding more stress to the abdominals, which should in turn lead to greater amount of muscle within this area, which will make your abs pop a little bit more. So another really good exercise you can do is the ab rollout. Now, again, people will have issues with this if their core just isn't strong enough, okay? So let's say you're a complete beginner, realistically, you probably will be only able to go to here. You won't be able to go all the way down to the bottom and then pull yourself back up. Particularly if you've got bad shoulders as well. So this one can be a little bit of a risky exercise. And I have found in the past, when you're using a wheel, that tends to be a little bit easier than using a barbell and plates. Because sometimes you just got to use what equipment you have. If you are going to be doing this exercise, one thing I recommend you do at the very top of the movement is to almost arch your back a little bit and crunch your core together. Okay, this little extra tweak and pinch can make a big difference. That's really what we're trying to go through. Whenever we're doing all these abdominal exercises, you want to get that crunch and shortening of all the abdominal muscles, and exhale as you do that. So for those people that struggle to either perform the exercise because they're not strong enough, or they have issues with their lower back or their shoulders, then I recommend you use the rowing machine. You can almost mimic the movement and actually make it a little bit easier for yourself. So first of all, it's much easier to hold the seat compared to sometimes holding a barbell. And then you can change the difficulty, okay? So let's say for example, you are a bit of a beginner, then I suggest you bring your feet closer to the machine itself. And what you're gonna do, very slowly, push yourself out, and then once you kind of reach the end, exhale and contract your core, and then squeeze at the top. So you can see, when I was doing that exercise, I was crunching and bending my spine to shorten the muscles, right? You can do the same thing here. So exhale and crunch. Most of you guys should be able to do that. Now to make it a little bit harder for yourself, you're gonna take a step back, okay? And you'll find you'll be able to get your body more parallel to the ground, which is gonna mean you're gonna need to create more force to get yourself back up to the starting position again. Remember, the squeeze at the top is very important. I'm just going to have a little play with this to see how far back I can go before I crumple onto my face. That wasn't easy. So that was hard, probably unnecessarily hard. I would realistically do it a little bit closer to the platform itself. And this is one of the harder exercises. It's like the hanging knee raise. I wouldn't recommend doing that one at the end of your workout. Do this one either to start off, or at least like the second exercise, whilst your core has a little bit more strength in the tank. A common misconception quite a lot of people make is that they think that they can completely isolate a particular region of their abdominals. Like they think, oh, I'm going to do an exercise to focus on my obliques, and they think that it's only going to be working their obliques. And I think that if they do like a crunch or a reverse crunch, it's going to completely, you know, not engage their obliques at all. But a lot of time, whenever you do any kind of a crunch, everything is engaging, but you just recruit fibers in different areas, okay? So that's why I recommend when you are choosing exercises, mix them up, okay? If you do the same exercises again and again and again, yes, you can technically build yourself a nice looking core, particularly if you reduce your body fat. But if you do mix it up with, you know, reverse crunches, twisting movements, and doing maybe some side crunches as well, that is going to improve your chances of getting a well-rounded sort of 3D looking abdominal region. One of the most common questions I get regarding abdominal training is how frequently should you train them? Now, for most people, once a week realistically should be enough, but obviously it depends on the duration of that abdominal session. Me personally, I do it once per week on a rest day, okay? A day where I'm not training a bigger muscle group. So technically, yeah, it's not a rest day, but because the intensity at which I'm training at isn't that high, it's not gonna, you know, do anything in terms of recovery, okay? There are weeks when I might not train abs at all. It's not like my abs are gonna disappear, because they do indirectly get trained by other bigger compound movements, things like that. But once a week, that's what I try and aim for. If you are a complete beginner and you just have no abdominal definition whatsoever, then maybe increasing the frequency to like twice a week may be more beneficial, okay? Maybe you can just reduce the duration of each of those sessions. So instead of doing like one 30-minute session, do two 20-minute sessions. It's up to you. But if it is a weak point and you keep putting it off, then maybe saving it at the end of one of your bigger training sessions isn't the smartest idea, because you're either just going to skip it, or you're going to be too fatigued or mentally fatigued to actually give it a proper session, okay? So maybe just train abs by themselves. But in my opinion, there's no real need for you to be doing every single day. I think that's just a bit of a waste of time. So there we go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. A couple of important technique tips which should hopefully help you out when it comes to your ab training. But obviously, it goes without saying, if your body fat is not low enough, then your abdominals just won't shine through, or you're gonna have a harder time getting that six-pack effect, okay? So you've got to reduce your body fat, maybe even reduce how much water you're holding, but that's for another video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.